For the first project for the patterns, I felt very scared of this class at this point when we first started working with it. I couldn't really fill all the white space, so I just added it, made do. It kind of had a cool border, and then uh, even at the bottom here, I had more white space, so I filled it with just circles. It looked kind of Crayola-y. Here, I think we were doing the cloning tool. I wasn't getting it perfect. You can see it's not super clean rows. They kind of overlap at the corners a little bit, but it did. You can tell that it was what it was going for. And here, I was playing with the transparency. I had it overlapping a lot. It didn't have to be as clean, which I got to do more with, which I thought was very cool. With the self-portrait, I had a picture of me walking for graduation. I used a dunce cap. I photoshopped off my cap and gown, put a dunce cap on. I thought it was cool. I was trying to go for walking away from an explosion. It's very cartoony. It doesn't look like a great explosion, but it was cool. I had a lot of trouble with the cap and gown here, just with all the overlapping that it had to do and like the wrinkles and stuff. My first filter, I used some kind of staticky nonsense. It looks kind of cool. It's not too disrupted on the original picture, but you can still see that it's been altered. And then this one, I kind of like more just because everything's more crisp, like the outlines, and it almost looks like the original, but it just kind of like you can see things more clearly outlined. Like if you just like look at my hands here, and then if you look at them here, you can see that it almost looks better, which I liked. And then the last thing, I just went for dark, and I liked it. It is the You can't really read the dunce. The cap and gown doesn't have as much. Um, it's not as clear as to where there's wrinkles and stuff, but you can still tell I'm kind of wearing a black cloak. My collage, I used music notes here. I wanted to do a treasure map, but it didn't work out as well. And I liked how the music notes worked. I had I used a picture of the heater for this like little, you can see these diagonal lines. I just used the heater in the classroom. I had a trash pile from all the bottom, just like a dumpster, kind of like what's going on in the Iron Giant where that guy lived. And I thought that looked really cool over my hands. And then I started with these eyes, and it was just kind of like these are the eyes of an emoji, and I changed the colors, this and that. I used a giraffe neck for the stem and put out the brown spots and used this bottom background because I like the vaporwave color of it. And I had an explosion here, just the original guy's head, and I used a carpet for this top right part. For the Alpha Bestiarity project, I was very happy with how this one turned out. I thought, I have the letter E, what should I do? I want to do something weird. And I used logs as the letter E and had earwigs crawling on it because that's where earwigs go, is wood. I had this one saying eek because I thought if an earwig could talk, it would say eek. And I had this one crawling into an ear because that was always the nightmare surrounding earwigs, is that they would crawl into your ears. No, that's not what they do. My line in space study, I had a picture of me on a ski trip. Um, we were taking a selfie, and I thought that was kind of cool how that turned out in the reflection of my goggles. I had a hard time with like the um I had a hard time making this person's hand right here only because he was holding the poles in real life in such a weird way. And I had a hard time with the live paint, but once I figured it out, it came out super well. I like the tint I have on my goggles. It looks in that kind of like that reflected type of goggles, and it came out pretty well. For my GIF, I had This is me just with a cap and gown, staring at my laptop. They had us take these, or they asked us to take these for our yearbook in high school. Only some people did. I was one of them, and it looks, it says a lot for what was going on. I have this is nothing because that's kind of some slang we use when we are very um, unamused in a situation. It's nothing. And I have it bouncing around with the posters I have, and I was also very happy with how this one turned